You see the builder? Amos, I don't think anybody will even be watching us this morning because it's so early. I just heard another human's voice. Yes. I thought I'll do a video for all the parents whose children don't sleep. Regular families sleep, right? You know, toddlers don't sleep or babies don't sleep, but 7-year-olds, they sleep. Good morning, Jerry. Might just be me and you this morning. Not only don't sleep, but particularly when you're on vacation. Though, I mean, look at my hair. Though I will say, you know what they say about vacation with children? It's called relocation. Might be called translocation. Hi, Jennifer. I mean, so of course now I do my video and there are actually people up. So we've been up since 3:30, I think. And I tried to get him to go to sleep. I gave him the iPad. Hey, Jude. And you know what? He was being loud. I put him in the bathtub with a pillow and a blanket. I shut the door. So we're sharing a room. This is why we don't share rooms with other people. I've been up since 2 with my 14-year-old. Amen. Thank you, Melinda. My husband doesn't sleep. Oh my God, I might have to put him in the car. I did toss Amos in the stroller and think, you know, I could just leave him in the hall. But I didn't, because I'm sure he would have gotten away. No, when you have somebody that doesn't sleep, so then we have my mom and my other 2 kids in the room. I mean, I can't. You block it out. But there have been more times we go somewhere and this is what happens. Well, then you're exhausted the whole next day. Which is a terrible way to feel if you're trying to do something fun, right? Oh my God. Fortunately, Legoland at least has like plenty of activities. Like, I mean, look at this Lego castle that basically he's trying to get in. Neither does mine, Kathy said. What you building? You just built this castle right now? Castle.
Cave.
I mean, at least there's that. I wish somebody would come put that thing in my house with some crackle. No, it's just, what's the plan for today? Go to sleep? Rebecca, the plan for today, I'm going to do a supporter video at a more normal time, is to eat breakfast and maybe go in the pool and maybe not. I don't sleep. Autism moms don't even, when they live in residential homes, trust me, it's 3:28 a.m. That's why we always get a second, third, and fourth wind, because we have to, no choice. I've had a newborn in my house for 14 years. Yes, get a coffee. I can't find any coffee. There's some in my room that I could make, but I'm trying to keep people from being awake. The coffee comes out at 7. I've already asked. I'm real excited about that. I'm having a chai latte. That sounds good. This is why I can't lose weight. If you're up at 3:30, I was like walking around here like, where can I get a Coke? She was like in the vending machine. I was like, crap, of course I have no money. So then I have to pop into the restaurant that's not open and push the fountain drink that like sprayed everywhere. That didn't stop me though. I found a cup. I held that sucker up and I drank that. I think they had like unhooked the carbonation, you know, when you're drinking those drinks. That guy is loud. No louder than my family at 3 in the morning. God, everything feels loud. As they get older, the nights get longer. Oh my God, don't tell me that. Yeah, I mean, you know, they say when you're really tired, it's like being drunk. And you know what happens when you're drunk? You eat too much. It's the same thing with being tired. And here we're like, you know, taking trazodone, and we take Lexapro, and we take melatonin, and we're up at 3. Like, every time we wake up, I think I need to email Dr. Copeland. So glad that Dr. Copeland did not give me a cell phone because he would get more text from me. The last doctor I texted at like 10 o'clock at night, he asked me to please not text after 9 because he has small children and they go to sleep. And I said, well, why don't you have your phone off? Dr. Scagnelli, who I love. Does Amos like it now? Yes. So yesterday, Amos, Jennifer, surprising him is a bad idea, but then he wouldn't have slept. So he was like, what does that sign say? Do not enter. I mean, he was, I think, in shock, so he couldn't even act excited. Do you want to go in the little jail? Little jail. Let's lock you up. We're in Florida and I left my purse at home because we left in a rush. I mean, welcome to real life. It's like, where's the phone? Where's the money? You can't get out? A cocktail at night. I get to drink copious amounts of caffeine. He has the fun. I get the pounds. Oh, God. This really is a neat spot. Uh-huh. You gonna put your name up there? We went to bed last night. I promise you there was not one space that wasn't covered with Legos. But they have magic Lego elves that came and they pick them all up in the night. I mean, how awesome would that be? Oh my gosh, what's he doing? Hello? Let me out! Let me out! Oh, I think I'm pretty fun. Anyway, I really did wake up and I thought, I'm so foul, but this is a great opportunity to tell some mom or dad that they are not alone, that there are other people awake, and they too shall survive. I love the name Amos. Is it a family name? Yes, it is. It is Amos's great-great-grandfather's name. And Amos was sort of cool because Amos had like a mercantile store, and his best friend was a fellow named Henry Ford. And Henry Ford was working on this thing called the automobile, and he went to Amos, Harold, and said, I'm working on this thing called an automobile, and I need a wheel that would work, right? So, AKA tire before the word tire. And he said, jail. Amos said, no, I'm not going to do it because that's never going to happen. We're always going to have horse and buggies. Oh, Heather, it's fine. Once I'm awake now, isn't it almost light? And so he turned around and asked their other best friend, whose last name was Firestone. True story. True story. Mm-hmm. And my dad said growing up, my papa would always tell that story about his grandfather and be like, they'd go to like a Firestone wedding or something. It was real fancy. And there was always a lot of lamenting that Amos, couldn't have like given it a good try. So when we had Amos, I was like, he's going to be the kind of person that never gives up. So the name has been perfect for him. Can you get out of jail? He's in there kicking the bars. So anyway, that's it. I don't know what we're going to do about the sleep thing. I guess we could have more trazodone. I think he just wakes up and he's like, his mind doesn't ever stop moving. Paul?
Hey, you in there? Hey, what's going on? Good. Hey, you don't have any extra little milks?
Little milks. They're looking
some out in that cooler over there.
Cooler.
Yeah, but there's only
Coke.
only a few.
We didn't get reservations for breakfast, and now it's booked up.
Yeah, but it's only.
Amos is an early bird special.
I mean, I got some, but I don't have much. No.
We go to Dr. Hendren, UCSF.
I got this thing.
Before residential, I did this all myself. I mean, Rebecca, right? I mean, that is one thing. You know, normally, one time we stayed down in Nags Head. Russell was in this Odyssey of the Mind competition. And somehow I decided it was going to be a great family activity. And we were in a motel room, one motel room. And we had at least one friend with us, Kamarian. So we had 5 kids and 2 adults. And he woke up at like 2. It was freaking freezing outside. And we were in a motel. So there was no place to go. You would think that being up for 16 to 18 hours a day, I'd get so much accomplished, but the laundry still piles up. Well, because if I get up early like this, I do nothing. So yesterday I did a supporter video. What time was it, Jessica? Was it yesterday or the day before? Oh, no, it was yesterday. And Amos was asleep. I got up, so that's the problem. I knew if I did a video at 3:30, well, one, I wouldn't do a video at 3:30 because I was still in that, there's a mode when somebody gets up really early in your house where you work really hard to get them to go back to sleep. And then you just lay there and you're pissed that they're not going back to sleep. So he lay between Mom and I. And then he started that iPad. So finally I was like, you can have the iPad. So I put him in the bathtub with a blanket and a pillow. Well, then you hear him in there like yowling at the iPad. So then I take the iPad away and put him back in the bed. He no go to sleep. Special kids' minds never stop, and they don't understand the difference between daytime and nighttime. They don't know it's time to relax. Yeah, relax is not in Amos's vocabulary. I mean, it's really not. Like last night, we were on that darn slide until it closed. And like, he doesn't act tired at all. I mean, he would go and go. My 11 and 13-year-old were like, we're exhausted. We're going to the room. Who has 2 thumbs and is in the same boat this morning? What does that mean? Travis, you're too smart for me. My middle son is up all hours and he's nonverbal, so he's very quiet, which is making him so nervous. Well, I can see that. So he doesn't even make noise. Now, see, I'm feeling jealous of that for a minute. I know that's silly, because of course we want verbal. Amy's like picturing like a perfect house. Help, let me out. That's like the kind of shit he's saying at 3:30. Like, what's happening behind me? It's like I'm in here with my husband, banging around stuff. Are you trapped in there? You're what? Where are you? Up, you're out. Good morning. The iPad, go for a ride, candy. McDonald's was our 4 a.m. go-to. Oh, God, I don't even know where the car is. Are you ready to go back night-night? No. No. No noise till he wakes the 8-month-old and the 4-year-old. Then it's a party at 3. Okay, let's just point this out. He's my youngest. If I had little babies and him doing this, I would never go anywhere. So for somebody that says we don't go on vacation, I get it. I wouldn't either. You may have covered this. You tried melatonin when he's up in the night. No, I haven't actually tried that, Nikki. Is that a good idea? After a 3-day no sleep binge, we started melatonin. Oh, we love some melatonin. We've been taking melatonin for probably before you're allowed to on the label. I would just like to say, I need this table in my life. This gigantic house. Oh, I'm going to do that now. Melatonin at 3. I mean, I'll do anything. Yesterday, though, Blair, we got back to, we were like getting ready to leave the hotel and whenever, I don't know, Orlando. And she was like, "Here, you want some gummies?" I was like, "Oh my God, don't give him melatonin at 11 a.m., you Fruit Loop." Oh, we tried that guanfacine, but that, no work. That made him up. Look, Marta's been up since 4. I have a full day of work ahead, and I'm too old for this shit. I know, right? It's so true. I sleep for 3 or 4 hours on it. My son is so easily stimulated. Well, we do, Francesca. We have quiet. We have dark. I had the white noise going on the phone. Sandra's son is 27. We sleep with him. We wake up. We walk between 6 to 10 miles a day. I was up at 5:30 and ran 6 miles. Oh my God, Sandra. You're running 6 miles and I'm drinking defizzed Coke. We can send our Henry on vacation with you to play with him. No. Henry, no go on vacation with Adrian. Adrian is full up. Haley's been up since 2:45. See? This makes me feel better, y'all. And then I know there's some of y'all on here that are like, what in the hell? This happens? So before Amos, I had no idea that people were up in the middle of the night for no reason. I just wouldn't have known that. You have a good attitude. Don't know how I did this solo. It aged me so much. So I'll tell you, Susan, I think having this blog helps me so much because I can so after I've been up a couple hours, I was like, well, I might as well do a video. You know, that could be nice. It gives me an outlet. I hate those people. I'm going to get a shirt. My supporter group, I told them I'd make a shirt that just says, I hate people. It just seems so negative. My husband built something like that table for my youngest. He was on the spectrum and completing his college internship now. Paula, do you still have that table? I'll take it. No. My son did not fall asleep until late in his teens. Erica, this is not a supporter video. This is a public service announcement for all the parents who have been up since 3. Some of them 2, because they have people that don't sleep. Yes, I just wanted to give them a little shout out because I'm worried. Consistent routine, boundaries, medicine, and social stories of why it is important for quiet time and sleep. We didn't change his routine for almost 2 years so he could get used to it. Made off to get him understand clonidine and melatonin. He's 19, haven't changed since his meds till he was 11. Well, good. Maybe that's why I haven't changed the meds. Janet said, I avoided leaving the house when R was little because of my fear of his meltdowns and what others would think, including my family. I wish I had the confidence you have. You know, Leslie's 245. Janet, it's, I don't know if it's confidence. I will say it is super hard to go places, like even at the pool yesterday. I mean, my mom, who then was watching the video last night, she's not watching this one, but she was nervous as a cat. I think she was protective over him, she was worried somebody might push him, and then she wanted to tell people, and then I was like, Mom, he's just got to they've got to figure it out. And the lifeguard did figure it out. The lifeguard, I think they started realizing, well, he's not just a bad listener, and I would wave to him and point at him, and then there was this one little girl up there, and I would kind of point at her too, but not in a way that she could actually tell her mom I'd pointed at her because it looked like I was pointing at him. So I mean, if we don't get him out, how do people know what to expect, So the whole inclusion and be friendly, it's all just a big ploy. It's fake. It sounds cute and nice, but nobody believes it because nobody's had an opportunity. So it's just really, like, really important to me. Like the person that said they ran 6 miles, this is what I do. You need to be my neighbor. I'm awake a lot in the middle of the night. You could send Amos to me. Where do you live? What street? I might move. I'm really liking this super glue. He's building a bridge. Oh hell, we can't control the universe. I always felt the need to tell people that he wasn't typical. Well, Janet, I still do that. And I think you do have to do that to some degree. I mean, yesterday, especially with COVID, right? So you're not supposed to be hugging people right now, right? Well, Amos loves ninjas. I mean, loves the ninjas. And Lloyd, he really likes Lloyd. Lloyd, like big fake ninja person, I mean, he would see them and be like, oh my God, he's just pulling his pants up. Are you losing your pants? I miss you. And they're supposed to like stay behind this like, rope. And no rope ever stopped Amos. So not only does he not like go under the rope, he flies around the side of the rope to hug Lloyd. Well, this Lego person, very nice. She's got her rule, no touching. She's like flying behind him like, no. And I was like, he has autism. This is his dream come true. She was like, okay. But I think some of it is like, wouldn't ever yell like, no, unless he was like about to lay on the roller coaster tracks, right? I'm joining your supporter page because I need more of you. You're real. Yay! I'm so glad. Our supporter page is really fun. We basically do videos like this like every day. We hit topics. Sometimes we let my dad talk, which is very scary. Usually my other children, though Russell has banned me. He's refusing to be on my blog. My husband is not particularly. But if he drinks, if you get him in the realm, you can sometimes get him to do a video. But it is nice, especially during this pandemic. It's a fun place to laugh and talk. And I started this like weight loss group. Tune in for that later because it's not going real good this week. Does the moon affect Amos sleeping? I have no idea. I don't even know if he knows about the moon. Amos, does the moon bother your sleeping? Does the moon help you sleep? He's not answering. I would yell. Oh. Well, I don't think people like do things like that on purpose, right? But I think, so we go to Legoland and she's, doesn't want him to touch Lloyd because that's the rule, right, in COVID. And then I say, he has autism. And then she's like, oh. So the next time a little kid does that, she probably won't react that way. So that's kind of the practice that the world needs. And for the world to get practice, we have to put ourselves out there, which is basically like walking around butt naked with your butt in the front. And I'm not going to talk anymore about that in the general public because that's TMI, as my mother says. But it's true. It's Brene Brown loves to talk about being vulnerable. She ain't know nothing about being vulnerable. Rachel Hollis, these people got nothing on special needs moms. I mean, it's a whole new level of vulnerable. I feel like it's important to get them in public, not only for acceptance, but for them to experience. Yes, Amos likes to experience things. But the problem is, you have to in some way, you have to follow the rules a tiny bit. Like if you go out to dinner, you have to sit down. Now, when you're little, you can get away with stuff, right? But you can't have like a 21-year-old man rolling around on the floor. I mean, no. Even if it were my 21-year-old man-child. No, you can't do that. So getting in public, you have to get to this level of behavior so you can be in public. Now, places like Legoland are pretty easy, right? Because you can sit here and throw Legos like all the other typical crazy children, you know, which is nice. But it is harder as he gets older, or it hasn't really been yet, but a little bit. You know, he's bigger now. But in some ways, that helps people, I think, see, like, okay, well, he might be different. And like today, he has on his different, not less t-shirt. Well, that he slept in last night, and he'll probably wear today. And I mean, as much as I like hate that, like Janet, like you were saying, in some ways, it helps, right? So it's really tricky of like, I wish we didn't have to say anything, but we still do. You know, like our world is not that friendly yet. And I think you have somebody that has Down syndrome and people immediately recognize that. And I hope are generally friendly. I know I am. Parents probably think I'm like stalkers. If I recognize a child that I think might have special needs, if you have Down syndrome, I know you have some sort of need. I'm like, hi, I mean, these people are like, this woman is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I love my friend Holland and support her as a special needs mom. I hope she gets on the live where you can tag her. Hey, Mika. Anyway, is it 7 yet? I gotta get some coffee. My favorite thing is he doesn't look autistic. What the hell does autistic even look like? I don't know. Is there any Coca-Cola back there? I think he thinks I just sit around and talk to myself. 6:47? What time did he wake up? Oh, 3:30. Layla? Is that a bar? Why, yes, it is a bar. Do they sell alcohol in Florida early in the morning? I know, he's friendly. He just thinks I'm talking to myself because I've been on this video. Our big 3-year-old that looks like he should talk and can't, and that's tough. People expect him to, and he can't. Well, so Leslie, last night on the water slide, I really got tickled because my mom was like, oh, God, we got to go up 547 in Wisconsin. Oh, my God, I bet it's freezing. And I was like, actually sort of laughing because he was up at the top of the slide, and I wasn't going to go, climb up to the top. And he's up at the top of the slide. The lifeguard. He's like this cute 20-something boy. I see him like talking to him. Amos isn't even looking at him, and I'm like, yeah, he not going. Well, then he like gets his attention and he talks to him, and I wish I had known what Amos said. I think basically Amos was like, I can't hear you. I mean, Amos has very selective hearing. Like if you said right now, do you want to go on the roller coaster? He'd be like, yes. But if I say, do you want to go something else? He'll act like he can't hear me. But it was like fun to watch. And then later I said to the lifeguard, hey, you did a really nice job with my son. He has autism, and I saw you were trying to help him, and he found him a spot because Amos would break in line, so he would have him stand behind him until he decided he had waited long enough and it was his turn, which was fair. But, we've got to give people room to learn some of those things too, Jeannie's going to head over and keep her grandchildren. You sound like the best grandmother I've ever met in my life. I'm not going to be that grandmother, because I'm going to be so tired of children by then. I'll be like, yeah, real busy. But Uncle Amos will come over and help. He'd love to spend the night. Oh, God. Okay. Supporters, we'll see you about 9 for a video with Mamie, my mom. We're going to be talking to her about vacation with children. That'll really be fun. And then tomorrow morning, we're going to be interviewing my dad. It's a Q&A, and it's at 9 o'clock. It's on his schedule. He's preparing. Beware. If you have a real fondness for political correctness, do not become a supporter and watch my dad. Lego friends? I don't know where the Lego friends are. Adios, amigos.